Haley, listen to this then. So when we set up these equations, we can do a lot of different things with ratios. But remember, ratio is a comparison of how things work. The key is always make sure the same values are on top and bottom as you do this. Generally in life, we deal with money. Okay? In life, we deal with money. And when we deal with money, the money almost always goes on top. That's the way we think of things. Think about this. You go to fill up your gas tank. What's the price of gas right now?
$2 and something cents.
It's $2 and something cents, right? So it's actually about $2.20 right now, $2.21, somewhere around
I don't
there.
even look at it.
So what does that mean? What does it mean that gas is $2.20? $2.20 per what? The dollars are on top, $2.2 per one what? Gallon. Gallons are on bottom. You with me on that? Almost always in life, when we're talking about the price of anything, it is money divided by a certain amount. In this case, it's gallons. Have you ever looked at the store and they have those little stickers by everything? And it'll say 21 cents an ounce or something like that, right? That's price per what? Ounce, per weight in this case. Could be pound, right? When you buy meat, it's like, $4.25 a pound. What does that mean? $4.25 per what? 1 pound. Everything is dollars on what? Is it on top or bottom of the ratio? Think about that. Price per gallon, price per pound, everything is on what? The price is on what? Top. So we always want to put the money on top, and then whatever we're doing or buying on bottom. By the way, even when you're working, you make a certain number of dollars per what? Hour. Everybody with me on that? The money is always on the what? Top. Okay, so keep that in mind as you do some of these. All right, let's do a couple of these. Let's say that you get $58 for 4 hours of work. Okay, you go to work, you get $58 for 4 hours of work. Okay? And then it says, and this is Joe. So Joe gets $58. So Joe gets $58 for 4 hours of work. Okay? If Joe works 21 hours, how much will he make? You're going to want to do this. You're going to get a job. And you're like, all right, well, what happens if I work more hours? How much money will I make? I want to make a certain amount of money so I can pay my rent, whatever. All right, how do we do it? Well, first of all, we want to write a ratio. So, Kaylee, what's the ratio I'd write if I'm making $58 for 4 hours of work?
Would you do 58 over 4?
Exactly. What does the 58 represent?
Price. Dollars.
The dollars. And what does the 4 represent?
Time.
Time. Okay, so this is dollars over time. I just set it equal to whatever I want to know. Do I know the hours or do I know the amount of money I'm going to make? What do I know? Joe is going to work what? 21 what? You know time. Where should I put it then? On the bottom or the top? Where should I put 21? Should I put it on the bottom or the top? Bottom. Time is on the what? Bottom. 21. And I want to know the number of dollars. I can solve that, right? I can cross multiply and solve. That's one way to do this problem. I'll do it this way to start. You're going to need a what? Calculator. Grab one if you don't have one. Okay, grab one real quick, or get your calculators out. Grab a calculator, get your calculators out. If you're not grabbing one right now, I'm going to assume you already have one, and I'm going to call on you. So I'm telling you right now, I'm going to call on you. If you Adam, you can't do your call. Or what's your name in the back? Travis. You're going to get called. Travis, what's 58 times 21?
He doesn't have a calculator.
Oh my gosh. Make sure you have a calculator. Kaylee, what's 58 times 21? You keep talking to Gavin, I'm going to keep calling on you. It's your choice.
Time.
58 times 21.
1218.
1218?
Yes.
Everybody agree? Do I have a second? Somebody else say yes. Okay. And that equals what? 4 times the number of dollars, right? I'm going to cross what? Multiply to solve this. What does this 1218 really represent? It's the dollars, right? We're trying to figure out the dollars. So it's gonna be the dollars. Now I gotta divide both sides by what?
4.
4. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Travis, what is that? Oh my gosh, you're killing me, Smalls. 1218 divided by 4.
12.18?
Oh my gosh, just 1218 divided by 4.
Sorry, it's just a question.
What you get?
4.5.
404.5, right?
304 all about it.
Is it? Oh, 304.
Yeah, it would be 3.
My bad. 304 point what?
5.
That's the amount of what?
You guys are cool.
Dollars you're gonna make in how many hours? 21 hours. Let me ask you just another question. How many dollars an hour is this guy making? How many dollars per hour is this guy making?
3
How would I find it?
divided by 60.
Well, I can either divide this by how many hours did he work?
4.
21.
Oh,
Or I could divide 58 by what?
4.
Should it be the same?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Somebody do, you 2 rows over there. You 2 rows.
Okay.
3 rows.
Okay.
You guys do 58 divided by 4.
Okay.
You 3 rows right here.
It's
Do
14 and a half.
304.5 divided by 21. And tell me if you get the same thing. What'd you guys get for 58 divided by 4?
It's 14.5.
$14.5 an hour. That's what he's making. How much is this guy making? Oh my heck, he makes the same. Did we expect that?
Tommy.
Yes, we expect that's the same amount.
Tommy.
Okay?
Turn around.
So we have $14.50 an hour. That's what that guy's making. I could have done this a different way, right? What could have I have done with this 58 over 4? Divided it and got what? $14.50 per what?
Hour.
Per hour. And then times it by how many hours he's gonna work. I could have just times this by what? 21. Do that on your calculators. Do 14.5 times 21. Would I get the same answer? 304.5, right? You can get the same answer.
So why
you
do we
can-
do it the hard way?
Well, it's not necessarily the hard way. This, like I said, this is not necessarily harder than this. It's just a different way of thinking. Because this, I didn't actually do any math to set this up. I just said we got dollars per hour, I got dollars per hour. The math I did was multiply both sides and then divide by 4. Really on a calculator, what's the only thing I did? I multiplied and divided. Okay? On this, what am I doing? Well, how did I get the 14.5? I divide, and then I'm gonna what? Multiply. Am I still doing anything really more harder? No, I'm not doing it. It's just a different way of thinking about it. Now, if you think it's harder, that's fine. Think of it this way then. Figure out how much per product, right, or per hour, and then times by how many hours you're gonna do it, right? Let's load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Never mind. Consol loads and ships 16 tons of coal in 3 hours. Okay, they load and ship 16 tons of coal in 3 hours. How many tons of coal will be shipped in 40 hours? Again, is there 2 ways to think of that? Yes, I think of it as 16 per what?
3 hours.
3, again, this time times on bottom, this time tons is on top. There's no dollars in this, right? But it's all right, time is still on bottom. That's how many tons per hour, right? I could divide that, if Kaylee's doing it, she's gonna what? She's gonna divide this and then times by what?
40.
40. Some people will say this is 16 over 3 equals what? X over 40, because I don't know how many tons or tons. Yeah, you could put T for tons. And then you're going to cross multiply it. 3T equals, I don't know what 16 times 40 is. Somebody will have to help me. Yes?
So do you always put time on bottom?
Not always, but it doesn't really matter, by the way. That's a good question. What's your name? What is it?
Taya?
Taya asked a good question. Do I have to put the time on bottom? No, but my brain usually says, how much can I do per how many hours, right? So most of the time we do put time on bottom. But do I have to? No, and that's what's nice about doing, so Kaylee, this is a good point for your point. Kaylee says, well heck, that's 16 tons per 3 hours. I'm gonna divide that and then times by what? 40, and that's how I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be easy. Okay, that's fine, But let's say I'm Taya and I'm like, I don't know whether the time goes on top or bottom. Does it really matter? No, because could I
Both
set
the
this
same.
up? 3 over 16 equals, and then put, let's see here. So the 40 would go here, 'cause that's the time, or the tons. And I would say, all right, over T. So now the time is both on what? Top. But when I cross multiply, will it make any difference? No. So will this work no matter where I put, as long as it matches, right? This is tons, and this is what? Time. So it's time per ton. Doesn't matter whether it's that way or this way. Tons, time. Doesn't matter either way. Cross multiply this, what will you get? 3t. Cross multiply this, what will you get? 3t equals 16 times 40. Somebody do that.
640.
640? Would it matter whether I did it this way or that way then? Wouldn't matter. You're going to get the same answer. Just make sure time is on top both sides, tons is on bottom both sides. Or tons is on top both sides, time is on bottom both sides. It doesn't matter as long as they are equivalent ratios, meaning you're comparing them the same way. Time to tons or tons to time. It doesn't matter. Now, like I said, a lot of people are just going to say, well, heck, I can do tons per hour, and then I'm going to do and times it by the number of hours. That works. It's not going to be wrong. Okay? Because I'm going to divide by 3 here, and what will I get?
213.3333.
213 and a third tons. That's how much coal they're going to load in 40 hours. Okay? 213 and a third tons. Okay? All right. Typical, go into a restaurant. I always, I have a brother-in-law. We go out to eat sometimes, and it's just me and my wife and him and his wife, and we'll go out and eat. And we get done, and we get the bill. He's like, man, that's a lot cheaper than last time. I'm like, well, last time we brought all of our kids. And he's like, yeah, but this is lots cheaper. I'm like, it's the same per person. And he's like, no, this is way cheaper. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the same. It's hard to convince him. So let's say 3 people eat at Los Dos over in Price, and they get their bill and it's $36.50. Okay? Now I'm going to have 8 people eat there. Obviously the bill's going to be what?
More.
More. Let's say they average about the same price. Have you ever looked at a Mexican restaurant's menu? I swear everything costs the same. It's somewhere between, seriously, like $9 and $12. Like everything on the menu is between $9 and $12. I really think that they just have the same food and they just throw it out to you, and they just make up different prices just to make you feel better. But really, everything on the menu is like between $9 and $12. So the menu, it isn't going to change that much per person. Okay, so how do I set this up?
3 over.
I can do that. It's fine if I do 3 over what?
36.
36.5. Then I got to do what on the other side?
Yeah.
What goes on top?
8.
People, right? I have to think. I am putting, and I like to write this out to the side when I do this. People per what?
Money.
Per dollar,
Dollar.
right? Now, by the way, could you do that differently? Can you think of money per person?
Yes.
That's how I think of it. But does it matter? Doesn't matter when you cross multiply, you're going to get the same thing. Over the amount of money, okay? What should I do?
36.
Just cross multiply. So I like doing it this way because I don't have to worry about, well, wait, did I do money per person or did I do person per money? I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to get the same thing here. If I have to think about it that way and then times, which is what a lot of people want to do, then I've got to have it right. I've got to have dollars per person. If 8 people eat there, then I got to times that dollar per person by the 8 people. But I got to make sure dollars is on what? Top if I do it that way. This way, do I have to worry about that? No, just set it up. So I like doing the cross multiplying thing more because it's easier. And you never mess it up. Other people will mess it up. They'll divide when they should have been timesing or timesing when they should have been dividing. All right, so I cross multiply here. What do I get? $3, or 3 times the number of dollars, equals 8 times 36.5. Somebody do that. 8 times 36.5. 8 times 36.5.
292.
296.
2.
292. Not bad. Is that right now?
Yes.
Okay, divide by what?
8. Or
Nope.
3.
3. divide by 3. What's my bill gonna be for 8 people? 97 point what? 32 or 33? What do I round it? 33. Okay, so $97.33. That's how much it's gonna cost for 8 people to eat. And my brother-in-law will be like, dude, it costs us $100 to eat at that Mexican restaurant. I'm like, there was 8 people eating. It still only cost you about, 10 or 11. How much did it cost you per person? How do I find that? How much did it cost me per person? Well, I could take this 97.33 and divide it by what? 8. Or I could just simply take 36.50 and divide it by what? 3. Do that. Do 36.50 divided by 3. It's about 12 something. It costs about $12.60. That's including tax. So $12.16 a person to eat at the Mexican restaurant. That's not right. We have to include tax. That's not what you.
Unless you get a Coke, then it's at least $4 more.
Yeah, I don't ever get. I always drink water. So. I forget that people actually order drinks. I've never actually ordered a drink in my life.
We don't either, that's why.
I'm a straight water guy. But are all those actually fairly easy to think of and think through? Every one of them ends up being a what though? A comparison of ratios. That's what's going to be on your assignment. Sometimes it'll just have you reduce the ratio. It'll say, well, what is the cost per person? Well, that's fine, do that. You see what I mean? Sometimes it'll say, all right, here's how much they're making per 5 hours. How much will they make per 12 hours or whatever, right? And you'll have to set up that ratio and cross what? Multiply. Okay, do the 8 problems on there. And then we'll do a little worksheet. There's only 8.
Can I stop?
Oh yeah, you can stop.